Getting yourselves comfortable on your mat. Just let yourself melt down onto the ground. Settle in. And then take a big breath in through your nose and just sigh it out and let it go. And just take a few moments here to notice. Notice your body. Notice the support below you and your contact with it. Take a note of things in the room that are close by. Maybe things that you're touching with your skin, your clothing, or the air. See if there are any sounds that are close by, and maybe some that are farther away. And then just let it all go. Let go of the doing of today. And let's just concentrate on being. Check in with your physical, emotional, and mental bodies. What is there for you today? Are there any broken areas that need healing? Or any areas that need special attention or grace? Just notice. So tonight, we're going to do kind of a continuation of last week's class, which was the idea of God making all things new. And this week, we're going to consider the concept of Kintsugi, which is the Japanese idea that as things wear out and break, they become more beautiful. Kintsugi is the art of taking broken pottery and repairing it using gold powder and beating and restoring it to its original shape. Except now they consider it to be more beautiful. Well, Jesus did the same thing for us. He showed us how to live a perfect life in human form, but then was broken and suffered for us. And after he died, he rose again in his glorified state. All for us. He died for our sins, for our brokenness. He knows who we are, yet he doesn't reject or discard us. Where we see a heap of broken pieces, he sees the possibility of creating something beautiful and new. He doesn't want us to hide our brokenness. He wants to heal us in ways that, while the cracks and scars are still visible, they're not something ugly or shameful. They're part of our beauty. It's in the cracks and scars that we see evidence of his healing and power to restore, for our good and his glory. So let's just take a few moments to ponder areas in our lives that Jesus has made new or is currently making new. Now begin to deepen your breath, lengthening the inhales, lengthening the exhales, slowing it down. See if you notice your heartbeat slowing as you're slowing your breath. And then let's come to a place where we have a square breath. So in a square breath, we'll breathe in to a count of 4 or 5. Hold your breath for a count of 4 or 5. Breathe out for a count of 4 or 5. And then hold empty for a count of 4 or 5. So go ahead and start that breathing, concentrating only on that breath. Breathe into a count of 5. Hold for a count of 5. Exhale for a count of 5. And hold empty for a count of 5. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Isaiah 43:18 and 19. So allow your breathing to return to its normal pattern. Let go of any guiding. And then let's slowly bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet together. So you're still lying down, but your soles of your feet are together. And let your knees splay out to the sides. And if it's comfortable, more comfortable for you, you can take a block and put it under your knees so that it allows the stretch, but it doesn't overstretch you. So make yourself comfortable in this position. So the bottoms of your feet are together, knees are splayed out, and you're still relaxed. You feel the stretching in your inner thighs, just as gravity does the work. In Psalm 31:12, David tells God, I have become like broken pottery. Haven't we all felt this way at one point or another? Broken. Maybe you just feel too broken to be fixed. Take a big breath in through your nose. Sigh it out, let it go. And then begin to bring your knees in toward the center and your feet on the floor. And bring your knees into your chest. Maybe grabbing hold of them, just rocking side to side. And if you have a strap, please grab that, bring it near you. And we'll take both feet onto the floor and take your strap and wrap it around your right foot, and then take your right foot up toward the ceiling. Keep the strap in both hands and allow your shoulders to be relaxed on the floor. So you don't want to be, really grabbing tight on it. Just grab it down low so you're totally relaxed, and just gently guiding your leg up toward your head. So you're going to get a stretch in the back of your leg, and just take it light since it's our first stretch of the night. So bringing that up toward your head. And take a breath here. Breathe it out. And then take your strap into your opposite hand of the foot that you've got up in the air. And guide your foot over your body. So you have to lay the other foot down flat. So guide it across your body. Keep your ankle straight here. So don't sickle your ankle. Keep your ankle straight and your toes flexed. Guard your knees. Feel a stretch in your outer hip. Big breath in and a big breath out. All right, and now let's switch hands. So bring the other hand onto the strap and take your leg wide to the outside as far as feels good, keeping both hips grounded here though. So your leg is out to the side, but hips are both grounded. Big breath in and a big breath out. Then on your next exhale, bring your leg back to center. And then let's switch feet. So take your other foot, put the strap around the ball of your foot. And on your next exhale, take your strap across your body, reaching over with that leg, keeping both hips grounded, shoulders grounded, foot is flexed, and you're breathing. Lot to do. All right, and then after your next exhale, bring your foot back up, straight up, and then out to the other side. Try to keep your breathing equal. So going in to the count of 5 and out to the count of 5. Just keeping your body in that relaxed state, even as we're stretching. And then on your next exhale, bring your leg back to center. Maybe you want to pull it up toward your head a little bit more. We didn't really do that with this leg in the beginning. And then on your exhale, bend your knee and take your strap off, put it off to the side. And then bring your knees into your chest one more time. And extend them straight up toward the ceiling. And here, let's just maybe roll your ankles in one direction. Well, let's roll them in the other direction. And point and flex your feet. Just warming up your leg muscles here. All right. And when you're ready, I'm going to take both hands and put them under your small of your back. So right by your hips, underneath though. This is going to protect your lower back. Now, I should say, I usually say this at the beginning of class, but I should say anything that I say here tonight is merely suggestions. So if something does not work for your body, feel free to modify or sit out if that one doesn't work for you. But please make this your class. So on your exhale here, we're going to begin to bring one foot down toward the floor, leaving one foot straight in the air, and then swapping. So we're scissoring the legs, one down, then the other. One down, and then the other. We're going to just go slowly here. Exhaling as you bring your leg down, inhaling as you bring them up. Your belly button here is pulling toward your spine to help protect the lower back. And then come to a place where both legs are both up in the air again. Let's bend your knees in toward your chest. Reach your hands around and just rock side to side here. Then on your exhale, bring your feet down to the floor. Take your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers so they're right kind of under the base of your skull here. And take a breath in, and as you exhale, your right elbow is going to meet your left knee. So bend your knee forward and your elbow upward. And then exhale down. Knee, the opposite elbow meets opposite knee. And down. And then keep going in this pattern. Elbow to knee. Inhaling as you go down. Exhaling as you meet elbow to knee. One side and then the other. And you're breathing. And you're probably starting to feel a little bit of work here, a little bit of heat. Let's do 3, 2, 1, and come back down to center. Reach your arms overhead and reach your legs out to the opposite side, coming into a full body stretch. Big breath in, big breath out. Another big breath in, another big breath out. Now let's take your hands next to your hips, bend your knees and bring your feet onto the floor again. We're going to do a little bit of breathing here, where you inhale, you on your inhale, you're going to flex your back so that your stomach is actually coming up toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you'll flatten your back against the floor. So inhale, allow the arch to happen. Exhale as you flatten. Inhaling, arch. So it's sort of a cat-cow movement laying down. Inhaling, arch. Exhaling, flatten. And then come to stillness and take your feet wide on the mat. Let's do a windshield wiper, but we're just going to do one windshield wiper. So take your left leg toward the floor and your right leg toward the floor, toward the right side, as you come into the one windshield wiper. I don't really know what to call that. It's a windshield wipe. Okay. So we're going to hold this here and you'll feel a stretch in the front of your thigh. And take a big breath. But in Corinthians 12:9, God says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. And then on your next exhale, bring your knees back to center and let's switch sides. So bringing right leg down, left leg down toward the center. And feel that stretch. Is there an area in your life that needs healing, physically, emotionally, or spiritually? A place where God's power can shine through your healing? And on your next exhale, you're going to bring knees back toward the center and come up to a seat. You can either just roll to one side and come up, or you can roll front to back and come up to a seat. All right. So while you're here, you can sit with something under you to prop up your hips. Sitting up nice and tall. Crown of your head is reaching for the ceiling. And take your arms out to the sides, reaching as far east and west as you can go. And then just begin to make some small arm circles. You can go forward first. And maybe you're going to make them a little bit bigger. Maybe a little bit bigger. And as big as you can make them. And then come all the way around, and let's go the other way, starting big, going backward. And then making them smaller and smaller and smaller. Until you come to a place to stop. Let your arms float down. Let's just take a moment here. Let your eyes close if that's comfortable. And notice how that shifted your feelings at this point. Has anything changed? Okay. Now this time we're going to move our arms between 8 and 2 and 4 and 8. So we're going to turn your palms to face upward, and then slowly, as if you are lifting the world, all of your problems up to Jesus, and lift them, and they're very heavy. And then he takes them, and your arms float down. Let's turn palms again, facing upward, lifting those big problems all the way up to Jesus. Take them. And then your arms come down, they float down. And let's do one more like that. So lifting as if you've got a giant weight on you. And hand it off. And then let your arms float down. Now take your arms back out to the sides, palms facing up. And bend your elbows to bring your hands to your shoulders. And then we're going to just begin to twist from the waist, side to side. So not leading with your elbows, but really try to make the twist through your midsection, through your ribs. God heals the brokenhearted and binds their wounds. Psalm 147:3. And you can get a little quicker with this if that feels good. Just make sure that your spine is staying long. Maybe you're breathing into one side and out to the other. And slow it back down. Come back to center. Take your arms up overhead and then turn palms down and let them float down. Let's come chin to chest turn your palms back upward, looking up, take a big breath in, look up at your fingers as they touch overhead, and then exhale one more time, chin to chest. All right, now we're going to take your legs wide in front of you. Actually, let's take one leg. Take your left leg and tuck it in. So it's tucked in toward the right inner thigh. And then sitting up nice and tall on your sits bones. Turn your torso so it's facing that leg that's out in front. And slowly begin to hinge forward at your hips, coming down toward that leg. Try and not bend, not round your spine here. So leaving your spine straight, and just bend forward just a little bit. And then when you've come to the place, which is the farthest you can go ahead and allow your spine to round down. And take some breaths here. Then on your next inhale, come back up. And let's turn your torso go straight. Then we're going to come down and to the side. So we're going to make it a side bend. Your opposite hand can go out in front of you, or you can take it on a block right in front of your leg. So you can lay it on the block and just come to a side bend over that leg. Breathing in and breathing out. And then using that top hand to get you up, come out of that stretch. If the block is in your way, move it off to the side. So we're going to take your your left hand, place it behind you, and use your right hand to sweep across and come up onto your knee, coming into a side stretch. So you should feel a side stretch from your fingertips all the way through the side of your right foot. Big breath in here. Big breath out. And then on your exhale, bring your hips down. Come back to center. Let's switch sides. So bringing right foot into left thigh. Sitting up nice and tall. All right. Let's face that leg that's outstretched. Lift hands up overhead. And on your exhale, begin to hinge forward. And when that hinge is as hinged as it can hinge, then you can go ahead and start to round toward that leg. And see if you can relax the muscles in that leg, sending them the message that it's okay, that you are safe. Big breath in and big breath out. And then reaching upward, come out of that stretch, and we'll come into that side stretch. So either you sweep your arm over, or you can use a block and lay your arm on top to come into the side stretch. All right, on your next exhale, we're going to come out of this stretch. Take your right arm behind you, moving that block out of the way. Come up onto your knee as you come into that side stretch. So left fingertips are reaching toward the wall kind of behind you, and the side of your foot is pressing into the floor. One more breath. And then let's come down out of this stretch and back to center. Let's just take both legs out in front. Shake your legs out. Maybe place your hands behind you. Open your chest. Roll your shoulders down your back, opening your chest. And then if you feel like it's something you want to try, begin to lift your hips, coming into a reverse plank. So you're one big long line, straight as a board. And then on the exhale, let your hips come down, sitting back up. All right, very good. Okay, now we are going to come into a tabletop. You might want to bring blocks up toward the front of your mat, just so they're within reach. So coming into a table, and we begin with some cat-cow stretches. So with cat-cow, as you breathe in, you drop your belly and lift your tailbone. And then as you breathe out, you round your spine toward the ceiling and your head and tailbone drop. So inhaling into cow, exhaling into Halloween cat. And continue with this movement and any others that work for you to warm up your spine. God, pick up the broken pieces. Put me back together again. You are the one I praise. Jeremiah 17:14. Pick up the broken pieces. Okay, let's do another one round. And after this round, we're going to tuck our toes under in the back. We're going to come to downward dog here. So let your hips shift back over your heels just to stretch the bottoms of your feet a little bit. And take your hands flat onto the mat and gripping the mat with your fingers, really placing the weight into your index finger and thumb. All right, and then come back to center and begin to lift your hips up. So lifting hips, straightening legs, straightening, ears come between biceps. Your head is trying to go toward the earth into your first downward dog. And you can begin to pedal your feet, one and then the other. And your heels may not reach all the way to the floor. They probably won't, which is okay. But pedal your feet, bending one knee, then the other. All right. And then we're going to come forward to a plank. So plank actually has the same distance between arms and feet as downward dog should. So here we are coming forward to plank, long body, one line from your heels all the way to the crown of your head. And if you exhale and come back to downward dog, you should be the same distance between your hands and feet. So inhale, let's go back to that plank. And then exhale, downward dog. Inhale forward. And then exhale, downward dog. And let's just stay in downward dog for a minute. Take a big breath. Breathe it out. Then let's come forward one last time to plank. And in this plank, you can place your knees down if you want. We're going to come all the way down. So bending elbows back toward your body, and letting your body come all the way down to the floor. Coming flat, untucking toes. Let's place hands right next to your shoulders. And then on your next inhale, with your feet pushing against the floor and thighs and pubic bone, all really grounding down. You're going to lift head, neck, and shoulders off the floor. And then exhale as you come down. Use your hands here to pull the mat toward you as you lift up. Open your chest. And then exhale down. So let's try one more. Inhaling, maybe you want to come up a little bit further this time in your cobra. And then exhale down. All right. Let's just take your hands under your head. Turn your head to one side. Maybe let your body rock from side to side here. All right. Now taking your hands on either side. Let's come back to Cobra. So on your next inhale, bring yourself upward. And exhale, coming down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Let's do one more. And then exhale down. Let's take your left arm out to the side here. And then what we're going to do is with your arms straight out and to your side, we're going to roll over to that side. So using your legs to roll over, giving a shoulder stretch. So just go as far as feels okay on your shoulder here. You can take your foot and place it on the ground if that works, or maybe you're just going to come a little bit, but whatever works for your shoulder. Breathing in and breathing out. And on your exhale, roll back onto your bellies. Switch your arms. So take your other arm straight out to the side and roll over to that side. Take a big breath here. And let's roll back towards center. Using your hands to help you up. Let's come through table. Take your big toes to touch behind you. And then let your hips come back into the child's pose. Bringing forehead to mat here. Big breath in. Long breath out. All right. Let's take another big breath. Sigh it out. God repairs the brokenness in our lives and makes us more beautiful through the process. All right, now we're going to come up through table, onto our knees, and then, if you can do it, come all the way to standing. So take one foot forward and then come up to standing. Try to come to a point where you can get up off the floor without using your hands. It's supposed to be very good for you. All right, so let's come into a mountain pose here. Roll your shoulders up and down your back. All right, take your arms out to the sides. Take a big breath in as your arms rise up overhead. And then exhale, fold forward at the waist. Fold forward, let your legs bend as much as they need. Come to a halfway lift. So flat back, your hands can come to your knees. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, looking up, hands meet overhead. Exhale in front of your heart. Let's do one more breath like that. Inhaling, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Then reach all the way up to standing. Reaching hands overhead and down in front of your heart. Just take a moment here to notice if there's been any shift in how you're feeling. And then take your arms both out to the sides. So one out to each side. Then cross one over in front of you. And take the other one and kind of hook it around the arm. So you're just doing a shoulder stretch here. For the sake of Christ, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians 12:10. So let's let that arm straighten, come back to the center or to the start. And then switch sides, bring the other arm in front and hook it with your elbow. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, so let's let those arms go. Shake it out. Shake your body. Okay, so I'm going to start again from mountain pose. Okay, and let's begin to come up onto, I'm going to turn to the side here. Come up onto your right toes. Okay, and using your left leg as your standing leg, we're just going to play with lifting that right leg up. So play with it. Maybe you flex your foot, flex your right foot. That'll help you to lift it up. And then place it back down. Then take that right foot and step it backward. We're going to come to warrior one here. So your front toes are facing the short end of the mat. Your back toes are about a 45-degree angle outward. Your hips are facing the front short end of your mat. Then arms lift up overhead and index fingers are straight. The rest of the fingers are interlaced. Warrior one. Make sure that your lower ribs here are knitted in together. So kind of pull it all together, just so that we're not overextending, like making too big of an arch here in your back. So lifting arms upward, shoulders away from ears. Warrior one. All right, and on your next exhale, we're going to begin to straighten that front leg. Take your arms to your hips, your hands to your hips, and fold forward over that straight leg. You may want to block nearby here, just in case. But folding straight forward over that straight leg. All right, so you're folded forward. Then come to a halfway lift. So come halfway up with a flat back. Then exhale to fold. Inhale, let's rise back up to warrior one. So same place we started. Now on your next exhale, take your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers as best you can, and pull your hands toward the floor behind you, opening your chest toward the ceiling, maybe looking up. Breathe in, breathe out. On your next exhale, we're going to fold forward to the inside of that left leg that's in front. So on your exhale, fold forward. Your hands can come away from your back here as you come into this humble warrior. Breathing in and out. And on your next exhale, let's take your hands back to your back as you rise up, back through warrior one, bending into the front knee. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn. Sorry, my back's going to be toward you, but your left foot is still going to be facing forward. Your back foot is going to turn a little bit. You're going to open your flip sides. You're going to open your body toward the side, coming into warrior two. And straighten that front leg. Reach upward and back toward your back leg. And then let's tilt it back forward. Let your arms come down. And go back to your original position. So step forward onto your mat, to the front of your mat. Okay, second side. So second side, you're going to take your left foot. You're going to step it back, coming into warrior one. And use your hands, index fingers pointing upward, interlacing fingers, making sure that your hips are square to the front of the mat. So pulling back your right hip and pulling forward on your left to make sure you're square. Let's take 2 breaths here. And on your next exhale, we're going to straighten that front foot. Take your hands to your hips and let's fold forward. Using a block if you need it here. Then come to a halfway lift. So halfway up, flat back. Hands can reach toward your leg. Exhale to fold. Inhale, we're going to bend into that front knee and come back up through warrior one. Big breath in. Long, steady breath out. Now take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, opening chest toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, we're going to fold forward to the inside of that right knee, coming into humble warrior. Big breath in, big breath out. Then take your hands to the small of your back as you come up through that humble warrior, back to warrior one. And then let's step it open to warrior two. Breathing in, breathing out. All right, let's straighten that front leg. Come to this side of your mat, so you're facing the wide end of your mat. And let's take feet wide. Reach your arms at 10 and 2. Fingers are wide as we become these big stars, letting our light shine. Reaching as far out as we can here. All right, let's bring hands to hips as we fold forward here. Take bend your elbows and grab opposite arms as we come into ragdoll pose. Let yourself kind of dangle from side to side. Bend your knees as much as feels good. Shake your head no. Shake your head yes. Just let it dangle. All right. Let's come to a halfway lift here. And then fold. Let's walk your hands around on the floor, turning your feet. Let's come into a low lunge, letting the back knee down. And when you're ready, take your hands onto your knee. Just come up through this low lunge. And on your exhale, we're going to switch sides. So we're going to bring that leg, the right leg back and the left leg forward, and do a low lunge on this side. Bring yourself upright. Feel the stretch through your groin. And then taking hands to the mat. Let's bring that front leg back. Big toes to touch as you sink back into child's pose. God says He promises to prosper us and not to harm us. He has plans to give us hope and a bright future. While you're in your child's pose, maybe you rock from side to side. When you're ready, come up to table. We're going to take your right hand, turn it all the way toward the right, lifting it up toward the ceiling. And then on your exhale, we're going to thread your hand through underneath you, coming into thread the needle. So we're going to take side of the head to the floor, shoulder to the floor. Opposite hand is up on tops of your fingers, like spider push-ups. Or a nice shoulder stretch here. Let's take 2 more breaths. When you're ready, let's take that arm, unwind, take it all the way up toward the ceiling, looking up at your hand, and then exhaling it down, coming back to table. Good. Okay, let's do the other side. So left hand reaches up. On your exhale, reach through, coming down onto your shoulder. Feel the stretch through your left shoulder. Take one more breath here. On your next exhale, push into your hand and reach all the way up again as you come back to table. And let's make our way to a seat. Okay. Take the legs out in front of you. Sitting up tall. And let's take one leg, bend the knee over the other. And as you're sitting up nice and tall, you're gonna reach your hand around. Reach your right arm around and left hand behind you into a twist. Big breath in. Release it all. Let's unwind from that and let's do the other side. So straighten the left leg, bending right. Taking the left arm around as you twist toward the right. Long spine. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Revelations 21, 4 and 5. And then on your exhale, let's come back towards center. Take your legs long and just shake them out. Okay, let's make our way onto your back. And you might want to keep a block nearby here. Actually, let's take your block and come into a bridge pose. So take your feet right near your hips. We're going to use the block for a supported bridge pose. So on your next inhale, we're going to lift your hips and place the block right under your sacrum. And come to a place where it feels secure. And then you can lay here with your palms facing upward, knees bent, or you can take your legs long if that feels comfortable. We did a lot of hip flexor things today, so this is a good stretch for that. We are all broken. That's how the light gets in. So let your light shine. And if the stretch gets too much, if you have your legs straight, just bend your knees and place your feet back on the floor. And when you're ready, we're going to lift your hips off the block, taking it out from under you. And take any last stretch you might want to do before the final relaxation, whether it's happy baby or full body stretch, anything that you feel that your body needs. And when you feel that that is finished, come on down onto the mat, laying flat, rolling shoulder blades under so that your palms face upward. Come to a comfortable place for your final rest. Vance Havner said, God uses broken things, broken soil to produce crops, broken clouds to give rain, broken grain to give bread, broken bread to give strength, and broken people to do great things. Nothing is impossible for God. Begin to deepen your breath. Begin to make small movements, like wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. Maybe moving your head from side to side. And bring knees in toward your chest. Make your way over to one side. Curl up there for a moment. Just notice how you're feeling. When you're ready, use your hands to help you up to a seat. And once you're there, take your hands in front of your heart and bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for getting us all together here this evening, and thank you for loving us. Thank you for helping us through the difficulties in this life and for helping us come out the other side as a new creation, a more beautiful version than how we started. Please help us see your continued support and have the faith to know you're always working for our good and your glory. Stay with us each day as we live the lives you've set before us. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.